I step into the grand ballroom of the Evergreen Resort and immediately wish I hadn't come. Chandeliers drip crystal light across marble floors, and wealth whispers through the room in hushed tones of respect. Michael's hand finds the small of my back, steadying me with a gentle pressure of his palm. "Breathe," he whispers, his surgeon's eyes assessing me with clinical precision. "We earned our place here." Leo tugs at his bow tie, his 6-year-old patience already wearing thin. "Mom, this thing is trying to choke me." I kneel, adjusting the offending fabric with a smile. "Just for a little while, buddy. Remember our deal. Behavior now, swimming pool later." The crowd shifts and my heart stops. A familiar profile catches my eye. The slight tilt of her head, the way she leans forward when she laughs. I haven't seen that gesture in 11 years, but my body remembers it instantly. The bride turns, champagne glass raised in a toast, and our eyes lock across the room. Grace. My sister. The champagne flute trembles slightly in my hand, the only outward sign of the earthquake happening inside me. I hadn't recognized the name Daniel Brooks in the invitation. I hadn't made the connection. I'd assumed Grace was still using our family name, Collins. Her gasp cuts through the ambient conversation like a blade. Heads turn. The music continues, but a bubble of silence forms around us, stretching across the divide. Behind her, my mother's face drains of color, then flushes crimson. Father moves protectively toward Grace, his broad shoulders creating a barrier between us, just as he's done all our lives. "What are you doing here?" Mother hisses, loud enough that nearby guests turn with curious eyes. The familiar shame rises in my throat for a heartbeat. I'm 21 again, standing in the rain with a suitcase, homeless and alone. Michael steps forward, his voice firm but measured. "My wife is a guest. She's the CEO of Medova. We were personally invited by the groom." The name Medova ripples through the cluster of medical professionals nearby. I hear whispers, see recognition dawn in their eyes. "CEO." A woman in a burgundy dress turns to her companion. "That's Amber Collins." The rain-soaked memories of my past, the shame, the years of feeling small, all of it fades away. I stand tall now in Valentino. The scared girl is gone. In her place stands a woman who built something from nothing. A woman who refused to disappear. Dr. Daniel Brooks approaches, confusion creasing his brow. His gaze darts between Grace's frozen face and my composed one. "You know the CEO of Medova?" He directs this question to my parents, then turns to me with growing interest. "We've been trying to partner with them for months. Your patient monitoring system is revolutionizing post-surgical care." Grace attempts a smile, but it falters at the edges. Mother and father exchange glances loaded with panic. The whispers among the wedding guests grow louder, more insistent. I could make a scene. I could expose 11 years of lies. How they told everyone I'd failed out of college. How they painted me as irresponsible while pocketing my tuition money for Grace's benefit. The power is finally mine. Instead, I simply say, "Hello, Grace. Congratulations." The simplicity lands like a thunderclap. Grace flinches as if I'd shouted. Michael's hand returns to my back, a silent question. "Stay or go?" Leo looks up at me, innocent to the undercurrents swirling around us. "Mom, is that lady in the white dress your friend?" Daniel's gaze sharpens. He looks between Grace and me, his new bride and the stranger who clearly isn't a stranger. "Grace." His voice carries confusion and the first notes of suspicion. "I thought you said your sister was." His voice trails off, the unfinished sentence hanging between us. Grace's eyes dart frantically between her new husband and her parents. For the first time in my life, I watch her struggle for words. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately regretted it? The smart move would be to grab my family and quietly slip away. Let Grace have her perfect day. Let sleeping dogs lie. But sometimes, regret is just fear wearing a mask. And I stopped being afraid a long time ago. I hold my ground, standing taller, feeling the weight of the moment settle around me like a second skin. I can't change the past, but I can control how I handle the present. This is my wife, Grace. Daniel's voice carries proudly across the room, his arms sliding around her waist. Stanford graduate and the brilliant mind managing her family's medical practice back in Vermont. The name Stanford lands with finality. Grace's polished exterior falters for a moment, but she quickly recovers, flashing her perfect smile. I watch as Daniel beams at Grace, his admiration clear. But there's something in his eyes, a spark of doubt, when he looks back at me. For the first time, I'm not the one hiding the truth. I'm not the one shying away from the shadows. Grace looks at me, but her gaze is empty, hollow, as if she's seeing a ghost she thought had vanished long ago. The wedding that was supposed to unite our family is now the stage for a reckoning neither of us was prepared for. Michael leans in, his voice low. I think it's time we go. Leo's had enough. But I can't move yet. Not until I've said what I need to. I turn to Grace. You've made your choice just like I made mine. But I never wanted this animosity between us. Her eyes flicker just for a moment, and I catch a glimpse of the girl who once called me sister. Then she quickly looks away, her hands gripping Daniel's arm. The reception continues around us, oblivious to the storm that's brewing at the edges of the room. The guests seem content to pretend nothing has changed, but they can't escape the whispers, the murmurs that ripple through the crowd like a growing tide. Daniel's charm has faltered slightly. His focus has shifted, and he seems to realize that something isn't right. He looks from Grace to me again, confusion still written on his face. Grace, what's going on? His voice is calm, but there's an edge to it now. Grace blinks rapidly, her lips trembling, but she doesn't respond. She's paralyzed by the weight of the truth she never thought would resurface. I feel Michael's hand on my back again, firm, reassuring. We should leave. But the words are stuck in my throat. I need to say something, do something that will shatter the walls that have kept us all in silence for so long. I finally speak. You should tell him, Grace. You should tell him the truth. Grace recoils, as if my words had physically struck her. She opens her mouth to speak, but no words come. I see it now, the cracks in her perfect facade. The years of pretending are starting to crumble around her, and she knows it. But it's too late for apologies. Too late for explanations. I turn to Michael, who watches me with understanding in his eyes. I don't need to say anything more. He knows this moment is mine to own. As we make our way to the exit, I feel the weight of the years lifting off my shoulders. The fear, the shame, the uncertainty, they don't define me anymore. I've built my life from nothing, and now I'm walking out of this ballroom as the woman I've become. The final step feels surreal. As we walk away from the reception, I catch one last look at Grace. She's still standing there, surrounded by her new family, but I see her differently now. She's no longer the sister I once knew. And that's okay, because I'm no longer the girl who once needed her approval. We did it, Mom, Leo says as we step outside into the cool night air. I behaved. Can we go swimming now? I smile down at him. Yes, buddy. We can go swimming. And with that, I leave behind a world I no longer belong to. Ready to embrace the future I've built as the sound of the wedding fades behind me, I can't help but feel a sense of peace. Not the kind that comes from everything being perfect, but the kind that comes from knowing I've survived. I've survived the lies, the betrayal, and the years of silence. And I'm walking away from it all, stronger, smarter, and unapologetically me. The future is uncertain, but one thing is for sure. I'm not afraid of what's next. And for the first time, I feel like I finally belong, no longer defined by my past, but empowered by it.